Welcome everyone. Today we have another new episode, but I think that everybody know about TAF and their magazine. I think in social media, everywhere we find about the TAF and their very exclusive magazine. And actually, we also get a huge response. International Islamic University's deputy rector, she called me. She said that how TAF working, they want to know more about TAF. I think that even in Asia Pacific, not only Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, many of the top universities, even the universities rectors, the vice chancellors, and these people, they are very interested to work with TAF, especially the futuristic leaderships and the futuristic approach and research. Examples, different universities, they said that they have different cluster for the research. So this is very interesting, and I'm sure that with these World Talent Economy forums, many universities, they have different futuristic approach and strategy. So we will share today's session, especially with this researcher, those who have a plan to do a lot of research in science, engineering, and technology. And I'm sure that hopefully in the futures, a lot more collaborations we can achieve through TAF. And TAF actually really doing excellent job, really excellent job, especially in the social media, even in their magazine, everything is class. So I want to start with Dr. Sharita. What do you want to share with our audience and what next? Because already how you manage your teams, especially your magazine, it's super hit in social media. Every day at least three different universities I'm getting call about your magazine. So how they can get from, especially from Asia Pacific, and many professors, so how they can get your support.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharif, for hosting us once again. So I must say that it's always a pleasure to be on your show. And today you have enthused us some more with, reports from all these universities coming in about how they would like to collaborate with us. So yes, we are open to collaboration, and we have worked really hard for this magazine. The entire team has, we have given our best as a team. And if the magazine can reach out to people, the kind of people that we are aiming at the general public, researchers, the scientists, homemakers, educationists, students, everyone. We are aiming to reach out to these people. And if we can, then I think our purpose will have been served. And as I said, as I always say, that the magazine is the transdisciplinarian's delight. You will find everything within the pages. You will find poetry, you'll find life narratives, you'll find psychological counseling, research on COVID-19, other scientific areas, on medicinal plants. So you have a variety of read out there, very encompassing on subjects like artificial intelligence, transhumanism, futurism, nanotechnology, biotechnology, everything futuristic. So we have set our sights on the future, that is to unfold, which is unfolding each day, every moment. And our sites are set there. We want to make it easier for everyone to reach that future that we can envision. So I have a great team with me. I have Anita, there is Brent, Oguchuku is there. These people are doing some amazing work out there. And yes, I would like to hear from them as well. So I will take a backseat today and I'll hear these people talk. Mr. Sharif, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Beside that, I just want to know, because example, there are different science, engineer, and technology related article. Definitely will come to your magazine. I want to know what's the insight you want to share with us, especially about the TAF activities. And different university really serious, because I get call from the rector's office. So and they are really interested to that, how we can move for the next level, how we can do more research, because research is very important. And Asia Pacific, especially Malaysia, they are famous for research and developments. So what the other panelists want to share about this research related factor, because I get more response from the audience, like my audience, especially from researcher. Yes. Uguchuku and our new guest, you can share your idea and thoughts. Who want to? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear. I think you should go first, and then I'll take off second.
Would you like
Okay,
me to go
okay.
first?
Yes.
Yeah. Go first.
Okay, so hello everyone, nice to meet everyone. I'm the ambassador for Australia. Obviously, the magazine is of great importance. Uh, the reach to developing nations is a huge factor in the 21st century. You also have to think about the goals for the future. And what we're working here in Sydney is a goal to educate students with the idea of reaching 3 billion people globally. And obviously, with the launch of this magazine, it's going to happen. You have to excuse me, I'm very tired. It's 1:30 in the morning in
Okay, okay.
Sydney.
Okay, okay. I understand. I understand. Oguchuku, how do you want to share your idea with our audience? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shari, for having us on this show. I'm so delighted to be here. As you all know, the TAFFD magazine is an expression of the vision of TAFS, which is to engage a lot of people, to engage over 3 billion persons on Earth in the conversations and the discussions about the future of humanity, and to give access to resources, especially people from the different parts of the world that do not have that cannot do not have access to these resources. And one of the best ways to have access to these resources is to join in the conversation of how to make our future better, how to create the kind of future we want. Because, of course, in order to create the kind of future you want, you have to imagine it. You have to design it in your mind and then imagine it. So, the reason why it's called transdisciplinary algorithm for future discussions is for us to have a broader perspective of different scopes, people coming together and discussing all of these ideas from different perspectives in order to share their vision of what the future looks like. And by sharing what their vision of the visions of what they want the future to look like, we can co-create that future together. And so we do not want anybody to be left out in this endeavor. So that is why we are the magazine cuts across different sectors, it cuts across different industries and disciplines, and it incorporates people from different angles so that we can come together to have these common discussions and then suggest our ideas so that we can really co-create this future. So the magazine cuts across longevity, it cuts across our fear, it cuts across COVID-19, the realities of COVID-19, how it's affecting our world. It goes into medicine, it goes into our technology, emerging technologies, and how we can really handle all of these things. It goes into universal basic income and whether it is a future that we can pursue and how we can bring about it so that we can have an inclusive humanity, an inclusive global world. So it cuts across different aspects of reality. So that is the vision behind this, and it's not separated from the vision of the organization. So I'm really proud to be part of this amazing work that we are doing. And I enjoy every other one, every other person out there to really come and join us as we build this future together for all of us and for our children.
Yes, Mr. Brent, how do you want to share your experience about TAF?
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure working with everybody. Sarita is really just doing some incredible work with this magazine as the chief editor. Tom as well, everyone, as she said. But just to point out the phenomenal work that Sarita has been doing. And Anita, as she mentioned, as the ambassador to Australia, we've been discussing some really interesting projects out there regarding education. Really excited about all that stuff. Help people in these rural places access technology or access education, excuse me, through the use of technology to help people that are from all walks of life and from all areas of life, be it whatever societal class they're in, have access to these types of educational programs. It's really exciting stuff. And Ugo as well, as he pointed out, in tandem with Sarita, the diversity in everything that's being published in this magazine, everything that we do in general, that transdisciplinary aspect. We're really trying to just incorporate everything, all STEM science, social science, the arts, all of it. And it's just really, there's just so much, and as Sarita had mentioned, Sharif, your introduction was really great to hear. It really is thrilling to hear how much talk is spreading about what we're doing, and really looking forward to the future. So thanks again for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And
Thank you. Dr.
if I can
Sharita.
quickly,
Yes, you
so
can add. No problem.
yeah, if I can quickly add something to that. So, just to also comment on transdisciplinary perspective that we're bringing to what we do. That also points to the richness of this magazine that we're launching this year, because of the broader perspective that we are using to approach some of these most of these issues. The different topics that are laid out there, they have a broader perspective. So it makes our work really rich and a very interesting read. Throughout the design process and the work, I was really fascinated by the kind of ideas that we are coming in from enlightened minds like Natasha Vitamore and all of them. So it's really an exciting read.
Okay, Dr. Sharita, I have a specific questions to you, especially when you're planning that it will be the magazine for the future. How you differentiate your magazine for the other magazine? Dr. Sharita, can you unmute
First of
yourself?
all, yes, I did. Mr. Sharif, first of all, I must tell you that I am amazed by the kind of people that we have in TAFs, the organization itself. There are, as our CEO was telling us, telling in the show the other day, that we have multi-talented people, polymaths, as he likes to call them. So I really am amazed by the kind of diversity we bring in the entire organization and the kind of talent pool that we have. So, in relation to the earlier comment that you had made, that universities are really interested by the magazine and all, I think they should be interested, because TAFs has so much more to offer than just the magazine. The magazine is just an extension, it's just a part of who we are, but we have much more to offer. So I think let the collaborations begin as early as they can. And yes, when we talk about it as being the magazine of the future, I don't think that any other magazine has been able to bring in as much diversity as we have been able to do with our magazine. I think in the very first edition also, when we were talking about having a magazine, we were very clear about the kind of issues that we wanted to tackle. It was not just going to be another read. It was not just going to cater to a select few people or audience. So we were very clear from the very beginning that we would have this diversity in us, which would take along everyone together. So that is what makes us futuristic. And at the same time, the kind of topics that we cover, we are always on the lookout for anything that is going to impact our lives in the future. So that, I think, is the USP of the magazine, and that is why we like to call it as the magazine of the future. So we are definitely something to look out for.
Yes. Mr. Brentelman, what do you want to add about this magazine of the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a great description of what's going on. These discussions, these topics that are included in this magazine. I wrote an article about universal basic income. There's information about fearism as the new world order. Dr. Natasha V. Tamore's interview. These are all just really futuristic concepts, things that you're not really going to hear about in, say, the New York Times. And, while you have other publications out there like the Immortalist magazine and, folks that are doing good jobs at what they do, as Sarita pointed out, the diversity in our group is really something to recognize. And it's something that really excites me. If you just look right here at the group that, we're all sitting in different countries, I believe. And, it's really incredible to see how technology is already connecting us all, and to see how, where this ride's gonna take us. And, all these collaborations that are gonna, prosper through all this. It's really gonna be a beautiful process. I'm really excited for the future.
Mhm. Thank you, Madam Onita. What do like you want to add for us specifically from Australia? Like, is there any activities happening now, right now? Yes.
When I first joined TAFFS, the vision was global, and it was developing nations that I was more attracted to in terms of giving more opportunity. So in regards to that, the idea of giving access to 3 billion people wasn't so much an idealistic vision per se, but more so it can be done. So we need to get up and go and do it. So at first things first, we need to believe in each other. And sometimes we have to get rid of the 20th century rhetoric and know we can use our technologies to our advantages and to communicate. And that's the first thing we need to do. The second thing to do is to trust each other. How do you do that? It's based on equal relations and respect. And to try and empathise and put yourself in that person's shoe and to see how they live and how they learn. So it doesn't matter what age you are in terms of learning. You can be 15, you can be 50, you can still learn something. This magazine is for everyone, in every demographic, in every location in the world. The goal to have internet access, I think it's 2030, to have 3 billion people get access to the internet. It can be achieved. We just need to unify. And the best way to do that is to make sure our international institutions become democratised, to make sure we all are on the same page. The G20, for example, it's really 195 nation states, not only the G20. We have to be inclusive of all nation states globally. And that's where we have to focus as well. And how do we do that? We bypass the traditional nation state with NGOs like this, and we collaborate and we unify. And we can spread our magazine to the ends of the earth, because at the end of the day, disruptive technologies can save the world in terms of environment, increase living standards, increase our knowledge capital, so on and so forth.
Okay. Mr. Ogochoko, my question is that, like, you want to reach 3 billion people. Previously, example, I'm from Bangladesh. Bangladesh has the largest NGO, like BRAC, and BRAC only successful few countries, even though it's the largest NGO in Bangladesh. So what your strategy, like TAF has, what kind of strategy they have that they can reach around 3 billion people? And on the other hand, like last 40 years, there are many NGO come, many of the NGO actually successful, many of the NGO do not successful in their arena. There are a lot of challenges, many things happenings. So what the strategy you have that you can reach these 3 billion people?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Really fascinating. So when we talk about reaching over 3 billion people, not even just 3 billion persons, because of course we know as technology keeps growing, the access to these resources keeps also keep growing. And so we need to do active work in order to make it accessible to as many people as possible. So having access to these 3 billion persons, well, of course, when you hear the vision, you will feel that it is unattainable. But we have come together and we have seen that if you look at how the earth is even organized and we look at the very physics of the earth, you find out that the earth doesn't find it difficult to distribute, redistribute resources to across every other species. And so we are learning from that natural capacity of how it redistributes. And so we are leveraging on technology, we are leveraging on diversity, we are leveraging on inclusivity, we are leveraging on discussions that we can come together to think together and then co-creation. So these are the strategies that we are really deploying. So it is called transdisciplinary. So you can see it from the terminology, the nomenclature of our organization. It is called transdisciplinary. So it touches upon the diversity, the diverse nature of how we are going about the things we're doing. And we see that in nature. You see that in different countries like the United States. Why it's called the United States is because of its diversity, and because of its sheer diversity, it has been able to achieve a lot over the years. And so we are also leveraging on technology. When people of different culture, different religion, different creed come together and then bring in their ideas together, what naturally comes out of this is creativity. And so they can create tools and resources that they can use to touch on every aspect of the world. And so we see these emerging technologies that are coming out from different sectors, and we're trying to create some kind of a safety net, a net that will allow us to bring in all of these technologies in a creative way, and then leverage on the sheer diversity and of our team members, of different people who are engaging in these discussions, and then to create some kind of a sufficient intelligence that will allow us to penetrate into different aspects of the economy, to allow these resources to be equitably redistributed across every board. And so by doing this, we bring in inclusivity within our system. And so everyone, irrespective of your skill, your diversity, your creed, your ideology, you can come together and you can join in the global discussion. And so that discussion is not just a talking issue. And so you see our magazine is not just for you to read. And by reading the magazine, by coming in contact with the magazine, you come in contact with the global voice, coming together and discussing different issues and bringing them together in order to bring some kind of creative discussion that can lead to creative thinking and creative rediscovery. So by doing all of these things, we can now come together and co-create and then be able to harness the potentials in our world. And so this is what will allow us to leverage on the existing markets that is in place and also allow many people to come together. And so if you create this kind of system, naturally, the systems of technology that grows at an exponential rate, and then the ideological diversity that allows everybody to come together will naturally propel us to reach beyond even 3 billion persons. Thank you.
Mhm. Excellent, excellent. But this is really meaningful strategy, and this is the definitely, if any of the organization they follow this kind of diversified people and they can team up with the diversified people in together, and they have a great visions, they can contribute for their countries and they can contribute for their society. Mr. Brentelman, my question is that for this different kind of diversified people and diversified relationship, how do you manage it? Because even you and my relationship also create this World Talent Economy Forum. So yes, so how you manage this kind of diversified relationship, how it works, what your experience you want to share with us?
It might sound a little funny and cliche, but I honestly try to just treat everyone like their family. I recognize that there's inherent differences between everyone, but I try to focus on the similarities. I try to focus on the things that we share interests on, the things that we can agree on. In this scenario, it's these technologies, in this futuristic, progressive, forward-thinking perspective that we all share, and it's really brought us all together. You and I, Sharif, everyone else that's here, and that's really what I like to do, and because I personally try to view everyone as a different version of my own essence, having their own unique human experience. And I just try to I don't try to, it's not about treating people how I would want to be treated necessarily, but treating people how I think that they would want to be treated, and just trying to have that respect for everyone, and recognizing that they're just in these inherent differences as well, culturally and things like that. So there's sometimes there's just this disconnect that happens, but that's not really what it's not worth focusing on those differences and that disconnect. It's those types of things need to be embraced, because these differences in culture are they're really interesting, and it's been a pleasure to learn about all these different cultures, and it's just really nice. That's just a great plus to be able to work with such a diverse group. I really personally try to avoid echo chambers. I really appreciate a group that is capable of having such a diverse perspectives on different topics, because I think that it really it doesn't benefit any, it doesn't really have a great benefit when everyone just agrees on the same perspective. So I really strive to, incorporate as much of these different views and perspectives and, cultural backgrounds in things like this as possible. And I think that that's really one of the greatest strengths of the TAFFD community. It really truly brings that transdisciplinary aspect to another level, because it's not just transdisciplinary, but it's these different cultures tackling these transdisciplinary topics. So it adds that extra degree of uniqueness. So it's, yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Sharita, you get a huge experience from your magazine when you work as a chief editorial for your magazine. I'm sure that you have experience to involve with many different people, many different things, and many different challenges as well. What do you want to share with us, like about your magazine developing and challenges? How was your journey?
Yes, it has been a very exciting second edition for me. Right from the first edition, which we did in 2019, it was when I looked at what TAFFD wanted in the magazine. Uh, I knew that we are going to have to put a lot more than just a traditional kind of magazine would have demanded of me. So I was ready for that work. I was ready to go that extra mile in order to make that vision happen, and that vision come across to the pages of the magazine. And the first edition was a great challenge in itself. The second edition, I'm sure, is greater and grander than the first one, uh, because we all go through some kind of experience. We add on to our existing knowledge, and so every day I think we better ourselves. So I have a great team with me. I have to accept it again and again that the team has been great. I have great support from the president, the vice president Brenda, the founder Osina Kachi. These are like the pillars of our organization, and without these people, I cannot even imagine of having the second edition moving. And yes, the editorial team, as I've been saying, we have. Senior editors, there is Anita looking after marketing, Brent has joined, Chuku is there. All these people are like enormous support for me, and I have had a great review team as well. We sourced articles from different areas of the world. We were very specific about what we wanted. There were so many other articles which we had to reject as well because it did not fit into what we're looking into. And we reviewed the articles. It went through different stages of production and review. And finally, we have these 31 articles, which are 31 write-ups, which are, diverse, encompassing, interesting, and unputdownable. So it has been a challenge worth taking up. I'm already thinking about the third edition because the second edition has been taken care of, and I'm like thinking about the theme for the third one. So yes.
Yes, thank you, Madam Anita. My question is that like different different type of people and different cultural people when they come together. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, okay. When different cultural people come together and different like different topic and different issues come together, how we can make it like more successful, and how we can make a diversified more globals and diversified team more globals in a professional way. Because in Malaysia, let's say there are many organizations come, they are trying to build up their teams and many things happenings, but ultimately always chances is 50-50. Maybe they are successful, maybe they are not. But we find that inside TAF, they have a very positive bondings. You have a very positive relationships.
Yes.
So how you how it will be effective in the future?
Okay, how could you implement something like that in an exponential level in the future in say, globally or in different societies around the world?
Yes.
Well, we've already got the technologies. If you use general purpose technologies that were looked upon as an infrastructure, then you could use basic translation technologies that could be applied to your AI or companion, and you could speak to anyone around the world in real time, and that could automatically be used as a common feature. That's the first thing. The second thing would be to, now I'm imagining this, that human rights as an underpinning would be not a want but a need. So in terms of evolutionary processes, say within the next 10 to 20 years, that would become a need, because we've got that much knowledge in the world that I'd imagine it would be spread so far and wide that we could really, with the educating of 3 billion people globally, we could solve many different problems that we have currently. So in terms of diversity and divergence and convergence, I honestly do believe humanity has the capacity to overcome many obstacles. I really do, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Mr. Ugutuko, how do you want to share your diversified perspective? Beside that, I have a question, because Africa has many challenges. Even developing nations has many challenges. Especially in this COVID period, I think this kind of challenge and many things actually growing, increasing in many area. So how your TAFF, different kind of initiative, let's say this uh, magazine or research work or different kind of training and academic related activities, how it create impact on the youth community, how it can create the impact of the futures of the Africa.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. The projects that we have been engaging in the past and even in the present are designed in such a way that it can give access to resources for people from different parts of the world. So, for example, recently we launched TAFFD Africa. That's a branch of TAFFD's organization that creates the gateway in and out of Africa, so that people can really come in contact with Africa and see the bright side of Africa. Because you've got this conception that Africa is a land of darkness, a land of people who are uneducated and who don't really understand how things work. And so, because of TAF's vision and TAF's clarity of mind and thinking, we have been able, and the amazing people who are in the team, so we have been open to having these, open to seeing the great potentials in Africa. And so they have given access to these by creating that medium through which we can interface with Africa, and then grow the potentials from Africa and then spread it across the world. And so we are doing this through this means. TAFS is also heavily invested in education, because we believe that through education you can really unlock the hidden potentials in any human being. And so any community, if we come in contact with anybody, what we usually do is to enlighten, to give them access to enlightenment. And so our educational portfolio, our educational channels, our TAFS podcast, the magazine, the books, and the academic resource materials that we put out is also a means that we use to tap into, to help people grow, as well to tap into the hidden potentials in people. And so we are heavily invested in education, and we are doing this on all fronts. And so the strategy that we are using is really helping us a lot. And we are also open to investing in other strategies and deploying other strategies that can really help us, to reach out to even more and more people, so that we can create the future that we all envision.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Brenton Elman, my questions to you, youth is very important and your focus is youth, even 3 billion people, it's a huge. So how are you getting response from the youth? How they are responding, about your different initiatives, especially TAF initiatives, not only this magazine, but also different kind of things we are observing from the website already. I think our audience get a lot of information about TAF already. So what the response from the youth community?
Sure. Yeah, we've had a pretty decent response so far. I've had some people reach out to me directly asking for help for signing up for TAFF's membership and questioning about the badge and things like that. I think that a big thing that um, that attracts the youth, just projecting my own experiences from my past and my educational processes, was that for me it was really great to when I had the option of learning things that I wanted to learn. There was a very different experience that I would have versus being told this is what you need to do, this is the class that you're going to next, and this is where you're going to learn. And TAFT's is really it's encouraging people to come and bring their own perspectives, bring their own ideas, find what it is that they're interested in. And and so at least with our online presence so far, it's kind of had that vibe, and I think that that's really drawn a lot of younger people to us, because it's really this excitement for learning that is universal amongst our community, and it's contagious, and it seems to be spreading outward. And so I've already personally, like I said, have people coming to me requesting to submit articles for future magazines and periodicals. Like I said, people asking me questions about our website and things like that. And we're really just trying to get the word out there still a little bit, so it's great to see this reception already. And I really think that I wish that I had something like this as a kid. As when I was young, the amount of time I spent on the computer and on the internet, there wasn't really stuff like this. These types of interactive communities where people were actually engaging and excited to learn these different things, and the transdisciplinary approach really, for me, it just seems like it really helps bring people about, because we're not telling people what they need to do. There's no authoritarian nature to what's going on here. And I think that that's a big issue with at least the modern American school system that I've found, is that it just seems very authoritarian. There's a degree to which it seems like they're teaching you to follow instructions and to have this regimented behaviors and things like that, which are absolutely helpful for life skills and things like that. But it doesn't really teach people to be excited about learning unless that excitement's already inherent. And so I think that with this TAFF's mission and community, I think that excitement is really being created on a grassroots level, and it's really interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you, Dr. Sharita. Like already from the social media, we are observing many of your videos, many of your contents. If you want to share with our audience about any of your content that they maybe know more about your magazine. And beside that, like there are different topics. Can you share some of the topics which will be helpful for our youth community? We have around 10,000 students right now in Asia Pacific area. So we are sharing all of our content with them. So like if you can share like what the things they get from the TAFF magazine.
As I said, there's a variety of read out there, right from counseling for students. We have topics on counseling for students. There's about the healthcare, job generation, and life narratives, as I said. And along with that, one very important aspect of the magazine is the nominees that we have for different categories. Futurist authors, leaders and activists, COVID heroes, authors. So the younger generation can learn about these people from the magazine and try even to get in touch with these people and the kind of work that they are doing, and get to know more about the kind of work that they are doing. So I think
Yes, Dr. Sharita. Hello. Yeah, I think
Looks like
Mr.
we
Brent,
might have lost her.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we might have lost her for a second. Yeah, but as she was saying, it is really cool that there are all these future leaders and people up for awards and nominations and things like that. Like yourself, Sharif, you're up for what is, I believe it's one of the Futurist Leaders awards. I can't recall exactly the award, but yeah, and I think that the opportunity to actually engage with people like yourself, people in our community, is really something that if I was, outside of the community, I would find that really interesting. I know that for me, one of the things that, Tom Ross, for instance, CEO and president of TAFFD, I think that, I like to read books, and I found his book series US6, and then I was able to find him online, and we started connecting and talking and discussing the book, and, not going to go into it much further, but, being able to actually engage with these people that are putting out content that we, relate to is it just really drives it home. And so, I mean, this TAFFD's information, this magazine, all these authors and things like that are presented in the magazine. It's so easy to get in touch with these folks, as Sarita has pointed out. Sarita, I'll let you continue though.
Yes.
Yes. So there's this nominees. I think Anita wants to add something on that, because I think there's this very interesting nomination that we have made where the person has designed some syllabus curriculum for students, right? Anita, would you like to add to it?
Yes, correct. His name is Peter Blanche, and ironically, I met him at a soup kitchen volunteer place in Sydney. He's actually as he said, the creator of a syllabus for a science extension program for Year 12. With a case study that he did a couple of years ago, the outcomes were astronomical. The science findings that had been achieved traditionally were of the level, so to speak, usually from people with Ph.D. level or professors, yet with a specific type of learning that he had designed, one-on-one learning, side by side, created. Year 12 students in New South Wales had created the most amazing findings. So with this, he wants to, in collaboration with TAFFD, is to share this program with disadvantaged students in rural areas of New South Wales. Now, if this, we were going to roll this out in December of this year, but because of COVID, it's been delayed by 1 year. So we're looking at rolling this out next year. Now, with the outcome of that, the vision is to roll this out into Africa. So within 3 years, this will be done.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I think that TAFF has very beautiful advertisement in social media. So Mr. Brent, you can share a few of the advertisement I think our audience really enjoy.
Yeah, sure. Here we go. Oop, sorry about that.
No problem. I think Dr. Sharita, you can explain if we don't get the voice. I think your voice is enough for us because you are live. Yes, Dr. Sharita.
I would have loved to hear the video once more and see it. We are having some technical problems, Brent.
Oh, are we? I didn't notice. Yeah, I saw that I couldn't get it at full screen. If one of you could maybe share it, I didn't realize that I was going to be doing this today. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, never mind, Mr. Sharif. So we have these nominees that we talk about in the video. We have nominations in different categories of futurist leaders. One of them is you. I must not forget to congratulate you once again. And one of them is you. There are futurist leaders, futurist authors, futurist activists, keynote speakers, and COVID-19 heroes as well. We haven't forgotten them in the midst of COVID. The kind of work that they have done for society, the kind of commitment that they have brought into it. So all these nominations have been made based on the criteria that the people that we nominate have been doing exemplary work for humanity. And these have been scouted from across the globe. We have had a team, and the team really researched into every person's work, biodata. We really worked hard on this because we wanted to have a nomination which was very democratic and which was also representative of the kind of work that they are doing. So that we are very proud of. Earlier, we had thought that we would have at least 10 or 15 nominations in each category, but that became impossible after a time, given the kind of high standards that we had. So we had to narrow it down to just a few of them. But never mind. I mean, we are going to do this every year, so we want the best people, the kind of work they're doing. We want this work to be highlighted, so that your work also gets recognition in the process, and people come to know about the kind of work that you, the nominees, are doing for society and for humanity as a whole. So that is where again, the futurism of TAFs comes into play. We are always on the lookout for people who are working towards building a better future for humanity. So when we recognize the kind of work that these people are doing, we are in a way carrying them along along in the vision that we create for humanity. So we do not want to leave anyone behind. We do not want to leave anyone who is doing exemplary work in any of these fields behind. So we are always open to nominations, in the sense that anyone can come and nominate themselves for next year as well. Anyone can come up. Anyone can nominate their friend or their someone in the society, maybe someone who is doing some kind of remarkable work. So that way, we want to carry everyone along with us, and we recognize the efforts. We recognize the kind of work that you are doing, and yes, together we can conquer everything.
Thank you. Mr. Ogochukwu, my question is that, we are observing in Africa, you are doing very hard work. Even we are missing Oshnakachis and all of your teammates. So we want to know more about African present situation, especially educations, healthcares, and good governance. How do you want to explain and share your experience, and how this kind of initiative will help to develop the healthcare system, education system, and good governance?
Okay, thank you for that question. That's an important question because, as we all know, Africa, as many people refer to it as a young continent because we have a very burgeoning young population. So it's been projected by that the population of Africa, the young population of Africa, really growing into billions, and that is a great plus for the world and for every part of it, everything that is happening in our world today. And so the reason why it's a great plus for the world is because these young Africans are very passionate and they're very eager to contribute to global prosperity and in doing great work. And so, but the trouble now comes in when you have a population, when you have a human being that is uneducated, it's almost useless because the very essence of a man is rested in his education, his learning, and the kind of knowledge that he has. And so, what we are doing through TAS and what TAS has been doing is pushing in education, is pushing in enlightenment, and it's also helping Africans to have access to the global community. And so you find out that with the rate of the rate technology has been growing, the emerging technologies that are coming in place, it has created enough abundance in the world, abundance of resources in every aspect, in almost every area. But the real problem here now is access to that abundance, access to those resources. So that is why you find top 1% of the world's wealthy, riding up there, and so the other parts are not struggling. And so education and enlightenment can really equip a man to become, of course, when you know that once a man is educated, once a man is knowledgeable, he becomes unfit for slavery. And so when you educate someone, which is what we are doing through TAFs, and we will bring enlightenment to Africa, which is what we are doing here, we are equipping the African to be able to harness the global potential, the potentials in the global market. We are giving them the opportunity to play favorably in the global market. And so irrespective of the kind of governance or bad governance that might be happening, which is a sheer expression of lack of knowledge, these young Africans who have goodwill, who are really eager to play in the global markets in a respectful manner and also to contribute their own quota. This forum, this organization gives them the ability to actually do that. And you can see that in what we are doing. A very practical example is that the community that TAFFD creates is really phenomenal and exceptional. If you're a member of TAFFD, they give you all the support whenever you're doing any project or you're doing any task, if you have any tasks at hand. So the recent example is I just published my book, An Exercise in Clear Thinking, and the launch was really exceptional and phenomenal. And that was because of the kind of support I got from the community. It was mind blowing, and I never really thought I could get that amount of support from people who I've not even met in my lifetime. So people from different parts of the world. So this has been really amazing and really encouraging for me in my work, to try to create the kind of society I would like to see for my kinsmen and also for my children. So TAFFD gives us that opportunity, creates that amazing community, and also access to resources through enlightenment and education, and even through physical, providing physical resources. It creates that opportunity for people to really get access to those things. So I really I'm so happy that I'm part of this community, and I even encourage anyone that really wants to tap into this community and into this opportunity to really come right in. We all have our hands open, and we have people of great minds and people of good hearts.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Brent Elmans and Madam Anita, my question is that, like, how we can make better strategy or better policy for healthcare development and education development in these developing nations? Yes, what your advice?
I'll let Anita go ahead first. Ladies,
Okay,
ladies
okay.
first.
Public policy, obviously. Well, social robotics, because Africa has, if you call it an added advantage of not being as a mature economy, so to speak. Africa's got the opportunity to develop at an exponential rate faster than the top 20 or G20, for example. So if they harness the idea of good governance and nation build through public and private enterprise, I honestly do believe it can happen over a 10-year period.
Mhm.
But it has to be collaborative between outside and inside, so to speak. It has to be collaborative with the people on the ground, with the proper governance and good funding as well.
Yes, Mr. Brent Elman.
Sure. So a term that we use a bunch is leapfrog. The idea that these developing nations we're likely going to see them leapfrog past certain communities in places like the United States and things like that, because we have all these such regulations and just the infrastructure that's all developed, and it's already there. It's really hard to change some of these things that are just so ingrained into society. But some of these places that aren't fully matured, as Anita pointed out, that are still developing, they can really incorporate some of this cutting edge stuff, like, for instance, renewable energy, and that's not, I mean, it could be related to policy. It's not education. But, that's a great example of something where in the United States, it's really hard to, go fully renewable, just because of, the strings that are tied to, big oil and big gas and such. And that's just one example, and another example is the technology that's coming out. People just get really used to the styles of learning and interacting and, their own little world. And so now that we're kind of encouraging these people to be facing outward on this international, stage, international scope. It's really going to be encouraging people to really expand their horizons on an exponential level. And I think that the way that that's going to translate into, future politicians and, people that are policymakers and things like that will be a really beneficial manner, because, the open-mindedness and the ability for people to really have empathy for perspectives beyond their own will increase and improve. And and I think that, as Anita pointed out, incorporating all of these different aspects and working together as this global community will really help catalyze that process. I think that there's just going to be, like Anita pointed out earlier as well, the idea of this AI companion, which is kind of up the sleeve still in the TAFFD world, but these technologies that'll enable people to be able to get past these language barriers and these different barriers that have prevented people from entering different types of industry, or just countries in general from being able to create the types of policy and regulations or educational systems that they really need, because it's been tough in the past, but now with all this technology that we're really embracing as a community, we can really overcome a lot of this stuff.
Thank you, Dr. Sharita. You are actually an activist. You have a lot of engagement with your profession. Beside that, you are handling your family. Even sometimes I think when actually the TAFFD team actually go for sleeping, transhumanist team actually every time I saw that you people have a lot of engagement in different kind of activities, and this is positive. Definitely this is positive. How do you want to share your experience with our audience? There are many youth community, they will observe your show even today, even day after tomorrow, and we are trying to share as much as possible. But my question is that, how do you want to give them advice how they can develop their careers in a disciplined way, how they can utilize their time?
Mhm. It has often been said, Mr. Sharif, that if you take your job as something which you enjoy, if you enjoy your job, then every day, it's like pursuing your hobby. It's not like going to the job, but rather it's like taking up a hobby. So that's what has happened to me. Apart from my other engagements, work here at TAFFD is like family time. We all are like family to each other, and even though we haven't met physically, and it's only post COVID that we really got to see each other like this in Zoom meetings and all that. Prior to this, we used to have meetings on WhatsApp. We used to type and we used to send audio messages. So that's how we connected to each other. Post COVID, we have we are as if in a same room, but still we are yet to meet physically. But that is something which we have overcome, because I see that everyone at TAFFD, we have the same kind of vision, we have the same kind of commitment, we have the same kind of sincerity when it comes to work, sincerity and dedication. And I think that makes it so easier for us to work together as a team, and that makes our work so enjoyable as well. So, it's like if there is TAFFD related work or there is TAFFD related meeting, so it makes me very happy. So even though I'm very busy, I try to squeeze time out for TAFFD, because yes, I enjoy being with these people. I enjoy doing the kind of work that we do at TAFFD. So youngsters, I would like to say that whatever work you pick up, you need to have dedication. Without dedication, there is no pay. It will not pay you at the end if you do not have dedication, if you do not bring in sincerity along with you in what you do. Glamour is just one part of it. Some people may think that, okay, fine, these people are doing this kind of job, they come on these screens, they speak, they do this. That is nothing. I mean, that is part of what we do. But for this to happen, you need to work very hard. You need to bring in the dedication, you need to bring in the sincerity, you need to have that unique potential. You need to be able to give something to the organization that you are working for. It's not just take, it's like give. Unless until you're able to give, you will not fit anywhere. So whatever work you do, whatever work any one of us does, we need to be sincere about it, dedicated. We need to love the work that we do. So if we love the work, obviously we'll be good at it, and if we're good at it, we'll get success at it. So that's how I see it.
Thank you, Mr. Oguchukwu. Especially, I want to know about the women rights situations in Africa, and how actually TAF handle this point of views, especially women empowerment and this kind of things. Even Madam Anita, I know you are very tired, but thank you that you are joining with us. So if you want to add something about this women empowerments, yes.
Okay. So on the front of women's rights, uh, especially from my country here in Nigeria, uh, TAFS has been working assiduously and looking at, especially using the new channel of TAFS Africa to reach out to as many women as possible. So we are doing this through connecting with universities and collaborating with non-governmental organizations, other organizations across. And we're trying to engage them in having these conversations about the rights of women and also giving women the fair advantage, giving women a fair opportunity to really play in the global market. And so if you come to Africa, of course, Africa has its roots in a patriarchal culture. But all of these, the perspective is gradually shifting. And so technology is also enabling us to engage with them in different ways so that if you look at our team, which complies with a lot of, we've got a lot of women. I know that I've come in contact with a whole lot of amazing women who have really come to join us, and even from Africa. So they have been really, we have been doing a great job on that front. And women have also seen TAFs as a friendly community that they can really interface with to really get their voice out. So if you look at our magazines, you see that women have opportunity to fill in their comments there and also contribute in the discussion. So because of the culture of diversity within our system, it enables us to do this effortlessly. It's not like we are trying to do, oh, women now, let's try to help women. It's like an effortful task. It's not an effortful task for us. So in our mentality of driving a global diverse conversation and to provide access to resources, across board, we are also including women in the equation. And so, also to touch on a little bit on what we talked about Africa and the opportunity that we are giving to Africa, and also how it connects to hyper women. You can see that with the rise of internet penetration in my country, I'm going to use my country as an example, Nigeria, we have over 46.6% of internet penetration, and over 99 million of people currently have access to the internet. That's half of our population, which is about 200 million. So we are leveraging on these opportunities. We look out for these opportunities because we are futurists. And so futurists are people who not only see the future, but they have a vision for the future and a strategy to get us there. And so we can see from our strategy, we have a strategy of diversity, of leveraging technology, of inclusivity, and of co-creation to really tap into these markets and so to harness this market and allow them to participate effectively. And so women are also playing a very key role. The last magazine that we published, we also had a woman from Nigeria who also headed that and also took care of everything that we handled on that part. And so we've also had a lot of support, from that side. So we're doing a lot of great job on that front, and hopefully we'll keep growing and we'll keep bringing people together so that we can continue to push this forward.
Yes. Madam Anita Rose, what do you want to add for today's discussion? Yes.
This is a general comment on the globe in terms of women's rights and Indigenous cultures and their oral traditions. I have yet to think about it deeply, but just briefly, it would be interesting to see how emerging technologies can help retain oral traditions because many communities around the world are matriarchal. So I would love to see how that would evolve with emerging technologies in the future in terms of feminism or because when you talk about feminism or when you talk about gender equality, every nation state or every cultural society deserves a right to express it in their own way. So it could either converge or diverge, but it's again based on diversity as well. So it's an interesting concept.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I directly want to go for the concluding remarks because today we get a lot of interesting information about the magazine. And hopefully by this magazine, not only the African nations around the world, the developing nations, they get very interesting information, scientific articles, and many things. By this way, they can solve the future problems around their society. We start from Mr. Brent Elmans, then Mr. Uguchukwu, then Madam Anita, and then Dr. Sharita Sharma. I want to invite you for the concluding remarks. So, Mr. Brent Elman.
Yeah, just I want to encourage everyone to come check out the TAFF's website. Sign up as being a TAFF's member. We're still kind of developing the website. There's going to be a big shift here towards some new kind of platform, and but anyone that any of these forward thinkers, or you don't even need to be a forward thinker. That's the thing. The great thing about it is the diversity is really one of our strongest points. So it's these futuristic minds are so helpful, but it is helpful to have people that are also conservative and a little bit more focused on other ideas. There's no cookie cutter type of person that would be perfect for this organization. It's, as Sarita said, if you've got the passion, that's all that it really takes to join the ranks and to incorporate whatever it is you're doing with these talented individuals and this talented this group, this think tank. Thank you very much, Sharif. I really appreciate you having us on here again today and last week, and good luck with the awards. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Uguchukwu, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to sum it up this way. I think we've already entered a new decade of the 2020s. And so this new decade presents a lot of promise and a lot of opportunities for all of us as a species. And so more than ever, this is the time for us to come together to to reimagine the kind of future we want and then to co-create it. The COVID-19 pandemic has prepared us for this great future by giving us an enormous lesson that we need more than everything. We need to come together to come together like a community and then to co-create our future. That no one can do it alone. And so it showed us that left on our own devices, none of the countries could handle it. It was only when we came together and we shared knowledge and when we collaborated that we were able to get to the point that we have gotten in solving the problem. And so this brings to light the urgency of the need of communities, and of not just community, but communities who share a transdisciplinary perspective, who have a diverse approach to as a way of solution to the problems that we face. And so TAFFs have created that opportunity for all of us to come together, discuss these ideas, think together, and then co-create the kind of future we want. And so we see that depicted, very well in the magazine that we are putting out this year. It is a magazine that cuts across different sectors, industries, and disciplines that calls everyone together to come and have a candid discussion about the future of our species and our post-COVID society that we want to build together. And so coming to join TAFFs, I think, is not just something that you do out of leisure. It is actually a necessity that is required to have this kind of discussions that will help us to create this kind of future that we are looking forward. So I'm happy to be part of this community, and I enjoy anyone out there who is looking towards building the kind of future that our children will look back on and then think of it as a great legacy that we've left behind, to come together with us and then so that we can build this kind of future that we are looking upwards to. So thank you so much for this great opportunity, and I look forward to other great works coming from us and you around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Anita Rose, yes. What the concluding remarks you want to add?
I will try my best. I'm very tired. I will say this. Don't be afraid to ask a question. My quest for knowledge started at the late age of 39. That's when I started university. Prior to that, I was overcome by fear. So please don't fear technology, or please don't fear disruptive technology. Let's join up together and move forward.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining today. Dr. Sharita Sharma.
I think Brent and Nobuchuku and Anita have brilliantly concluded. As they say, we are transdisciplinary, we are democratic, we are looking for people with passion to come and join us, and never be afraid of asking a question. So that's what we are. TAFFD has a great vision for the future. The magazine is just an extension of that vision. Join us, read us. Tell us how to move ahead in the future. We are democratic. We're waiting to listen to your voices. We welcome all kinds of minds, all kinds of vision, all kinds of thinking. We are inclusive. We are TAFFD. We want to move ahead in the future together with everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for joining today, and it's really nice discussions. And wish you all the best for your magazine. And hopefully, in the future, we will get a lot more solution from the TAFF, especially for the developing nations. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today.
Hi guys, I'm really sorry I stopped that. Is that live?